So this video is about the end of my bright line eating journey. So it has come to an end. First I did the 2-week challenge, then I went straight into the boot camp, and it was an incredible journey. And I discovered that because of the program, I started binging again. And so my old mentality, my old dieting mentality came back because of the program. And actually, this program is meant to free you from that. And so it did the opposite for me, but it did teach me a lot, and it brought me to the place that I am now, which is back to intuitive eating. Now, let me give you some background, because about 6 years ago, I went through this exact same journey. I had just finished a decade of hardcore exercise, constriction, forcing my body into submission, like basically beating my body into submission, intermixed with binging and then constricting again. And around that time, 6 years ago, I decided never, ever, ever to diet again. Fast forward about 6 years, and a year ago, I went through some huge life changes where I found myself living alone. A relationship ended. I am living alone, and both of my daughters have moved out. They're in university, and I'm alone for the first time, probably. I can actually honestly say ever. Like living alone as an adult, ever. I don't think I've ever lived alone as an adult without little kids to take care of or like somebody around. So I know that whenever I have felt lonely or alone, whether in a relationship or not, I turn to food to soothe. And so here I was, alone, living alone, completely in this new lifestyle that I had never felt before. And I started using food for comfort again. This is when I started desperately grasping and searching for solutions again, because I was losing the grip I had on my body, on my amazing, strong, thin body that I loved for so many years. And since stopping dieting. But the funny thing and the interesting thing is that my dieting creeped back in that point, because I noticed I was gaining a little bit of weight, and I was feeling a little bit out of control with eating. And so I started searching again. I was noticing myself Googling things again about how, keto diet or this diet, how to lose weight quickly or whatever I would do with my diet mentality. And a client of mine had mentioned bright line eating during this time that I was quite desperate to find a solution again. And it felt so right in the moment, because it gave me the structure that I needed to eat healthily and stop like going out of control. But what ended up happening is that I ended up going even more out of control, to the point where I would say 3-4 weeks ago, I was at that point again where I was going so out of my mind with the diet binging cycle. The bright line eating part was the diet, and the binging cycle that it triggered. I was going out of my mind, and somebody in the bright line eating group recommended a book called Brain Over Binge. And I realized that so often in that book, she talks about how often when someone is anorexic, it causes a binge eating disorder because of the constriction. And that really resonated with me, because as soon as I start to constrict, my brain goes oh my God, you are going to starve to death. You must eat everything in sight. And then I do. And then I gain weight and then I feel crappy. And like the cycle is just ridiculous. And then now I'm in the stage of my life where I can't constrict anymore. My brain won't let me do it, and my heart won't let me do it. Because let me tell you, I am so in alignment with who I am that I know that that deep inner being part of me knows that this is not the way. I am so going against the grain of my soul, of who the path that I need to take, and that that is not a self-loving path for me. And bright line eating is a self-love path for many people. And for me, it just triggered my old stuff. So I'm not against it. And I think for a lot of people that need that structure, it's really great. But for me, it triggered actually the very problem that I went to it for, if that makes sense. So I decided, just like I did 7 years ago, to never diet again. I reached that point even deeper inside of myself. But that comes with a very, very, very scary cliff. And that cliff is jumping off without a net and without a structure and without a diet. And your brain almost doesn't even know what to do anymore, what to eat. And so I had a few weeks of really dabbling in that and struggling with the thoughts and the feelings of, oh my God, I'll never be able to eat normally again. And allowing and surrendering to that is actually the scariest part. And not making one food bad and one food good, because as soon as I did that, I started obsessing. So if chocolate is bad and I ate, like a couple of almonds instead, I would still crave the chocolate. And then I would still end up eating the chocolate and feel shitty, instead of just eating the chocolate and learning to just go with what my body wanted in the first place. So today, for the first time in a long time, I really feel congruent again. I was off gluten and dairy for a very, very long time, 5-6 years. And it made me feel amazing, but mostly because it made me feel in control. And I was still kind of in that mindset of I have control over my body. In this last year of transformation, I started dabbling in eating gluten and dairy again. In fact, just eating, like what the heck? And I have been listening a lot again to Abraham Hicks. If you don't know them, Google right now, well, after you finish watching me, search Abraham Hicks, and basically the messages they send are just incredible. I won't go too far into it, but basically is giving me the permission and the inspiration again to just really listen to my intuition and guidance from within, instead of constricting and trying to control. I really feel in alignment with following what my body needs in a trusting way. And some people call that intuitive eating. I actually really like it. And it puts the responsibility on me not to choose the right foods or the wrong foods, but to stay in perfect alignment with who I am and to live in the high vibration that I've committed to. And the funny thing is, this is exactly what I taught in my online course, Redefining Your Relationship with Food. It's my own course. So I've gone back and listened to my own videos, and I'm laughing here because it's hilarious, right? Here I am, I make this course about intuitive eating, about getting in. So the course is basically about getting into a high vibration. Once you, I mean, everybody has experienced this, right? If you're in a high vibration, everything is good. Your relationships are easy, your relationship with food is easy, your relationship with your body is, if it's normally really bad, it's at least not bad. If it's usually pretty good, then it's excellent, right? Everything, when you live up here in this vibration, everything is good. When you eat in a high vibration, it actually doesn't affect you negatively, right? And you also don't binge in that case because you're not having the feeling of like constriction, or I was going to say dying, right? For me, it felt like I was dying. When I was constricting, I literally, my brain fired off. You're dying, you're dying, you're dying. You must eat all the food you can get. So the key is living in that high vibration first. And then from that place, doing your life, whether that's eating, whether that's taking care of yourself, whether that's working, right? So the hilarious thing is that I thought my course that I did originally was outdated, and now I've actually come full circle back to it. And it's such an amazing reminder, and I'm so grateful to Bright Line Eating because it helped me remember where I need to be with myself. And some people think they're unable to be intuitive eaters, and that's okay. For you, Bright Line Eating might be really perfect, and I still love the concept. I think it's a really great thing for people who really need it. And I'll put like all the links below or above, whichever medium I'm posting this on, it'll be somewhere. But so I'm not against Bright Line Eating. In fact, I'm very grateful for this program because it really, really solidified for me that intuitive eating is the way to go. And so now I've normalized my eating again. And in Bright Line Eating, I also learned about the what the hell effect. And the what the hell effect is an actual scientific psychological term for when, you fall off your diet and you eat like one slice of pizza, instead of just eating the slice and getting over it, or not having any emotion around it, you get the what the hell effect and end up eating the whole pizza plus some ice cream plus binging more and more and more. And so I have completely healed the what the hell effect now because I've now gotten back to my equilibrium. And yeah, I'm carrying a tiny bit of weight, but you know what? The freedom that actually living is giving me isn't worth any amount of thinness that I could attain with the mental prison that I was in trying to beat my body into submission with dieting and then binging and hurting myself, conversely, right? Just because I couldn't keep that up. And that dance, my whole life was consumed by staying a certain shape. And I'm really getting over that. I can't say I'm fully over it, but I might be. I might really be. So here I am. I'm still beautiful and strong and amazing, and my body is so capable, and I am now embodying and embracing my own inner guidance system around eating. Again, thank you to Bright Line Eating for helping me recognize that again. I feel so free. My days are not taken up by wondering what I'm going to eat or planning what I'm going to eat, or what I'm not going to eat or what I'm going to binge on or whatever. I'm just doing my life, and I know that I'm free. I'm free. I can eat whatever I want whenever I want. So I'm going to leave it at that because I'm blabbing a little bit, but it's just so exciting, this journey. And I hope that you get some inspiration from it. Some of my closest friends who I know watch my videos, I've struggled with food. And the only reason, this is like the most intimate part of me, and the only reason I'm sharing this with YouTube and, hence the world, is because I know so many of you are out there struggling too and don't have freedom with food. And I wish that for all of us, because we are divine, beautiful goddesses. And why should we feel the need to beat our bodies into submission with all these rules and regulations and forcing? Like, why not just flow with the beauty that we are, and allow and surrender? It doesn't mean you're going to end up gaining 300 pounds. I promise you. I promise that's not what's going to happen. In fact, people who gain a lot of weight gain it because of other reasons, usually because of the diet constriction binging cycle, and where the binging gets out of control. Anyway, I am going to leave you. Bye for now.